Welcome today in the Miracles Healing Open Sessions. Here's the lesson of today. The Holy Christ is born in me today. Watch with me, angels. Watch with me today. Let all God's holy thoughts surround me, and be still with me while heaven's Son is born. Let earthly sounds be quiet, and the sights to which I'm accustomed disappear. Let Christ be welcomed where he is at home, and let him hear the sounds he understands, and see but the sights that show his Father's love. Let him no longer be a stranger here, for he is born again in me today. Your Son is welcome, Father. He has come to save me from the evil self I made. He is the self that you have given me. He is but what I really am in truth. He is the Son you love above all things. He is myself as you created me. It is not Christ that can be crucified. Safe in your arms, let me receive your Son. The Holy Christ is born in me today.
Watch with me, angels. Oh, angels, watch with me today. Come, watch with me, angels. Oh, angels, watch with me today. Surround me and be still with me while heaven's Son is born. Let all God's holy thoughts surround me and be still with me while heaven's Son is born. Let earthly sounds be quiet and familiar sights disappear. Let Christ be welcomed where he is at home. Let him no longer be a stranger here. Son, complete and healed and whole. You are God's Son, complete and healed and whole. You are God's Son, complete and healed and whole. You are God's Son, complete and healed and whole. You are God's Son, complete and healed and whole. You are God's
Okay, so miracles, healing, open sessions. So today we dive into neuroplasticity, and that's a long, big word. And what does it mean? Well, it's going to be interesting because we use it very specifically, and that's in a relationship with the mind training, with the, well, first, what is neuroplasticity? Well, let me give you the definition. The definition: neuroplasticity or brain plasticity is the fundamental ability of the brain, of the mind, the brain, to reorganize, adapt, and change its neural connections in response to new information, sensory stimulation, experience, learning, injury, and dysfunction. It is a lifelong process that allows the brain to be dynamic and resilient. So this is like all the possibilities of the brain, as it is being said in the medical science. Like the brain is able to adapt to new circumstances, new situations, new this, new that, all of this. And well, if you're not a body, if you're consciousness yourself, which is what you are, then what becomes this story? What are you doing? Let's start with the beginning. So what are you doing? You're picking up A Course in Miracles, brand new, from the library or somewhere. You pick it up from the shop and you start doing lesson 1. Now your brain, your way of thinking, you could say, is set up as you are familiar with as a human being. So that means you respond to the world, you believe that there's something outside of you, just like the very start. Like, there's someone is attacking you, there's a world threatening you, there's this happening and that happening, and all the way. Like, you learn to react to this world and defend yourself for your own safety. This is what we know that a human being does. Now here comes the mind training. I pick up the book and I dedicate myself to actually doing the lesson every day and making something of that. Like just doing it as it is being said. Now what does that do to my system? This is a bit what we're looking at today. Because something is happening. You can say, like, the normal response would be for a human being to continuously, in fact, confirm its separate identity in order to be safe. Like, if you would completely melt into your environment, that could be very dangerous. You can imagine walking in the streets and you're not aware of your limits and your boundaries. That could be a dangerous situation. So you adapt yourself to a world. And now this adapting to the world is exactly what this learning is. Now neuroplasticity is also used in medical science. Like there are people, just an example, somebody falls on his head and has a head injury. It seems like part of his brain is not any longer functioning the way that it's supposed to. And is this in the way for functioning of the one? Well, it could be for a moment, but the great adaptivity of the brain, as they say, the brain is then to adapt to the new situation. Other functions are taken over by other parts of the brain, and suddenly somebody can speak fluent Portuguese, while he couldn't do that before. After the fall, he suddenly speaks Portuguese also as a second language. Perfect. Just brilliant. And more like this. So that's kind of interesting. I know for sure that Oliver Sacks has been writing about that too, like an older, he was a neurosurgeon. So he wrote great books about that. For instance, the idea of itching your toe while your leg has been, say, cut off, but still have the same sensation in your toe, and you need to scratch. It seems like you need to scratch, And so these are phenomena that are part of your consciousness, of course. But since we have a new vision here, that you are not what you think you are, you're not this body, now how does that affect your functioning? Because it does affect your functioning. I give some examples. So normally with the human situation, things that you are perceived, you need to filter out in terms of, I need to receive the information that is coming at me because I have to make myself secure. I need to defend myself. I need to protect myself in order to survive as a human being. Now, you are triggered by certain things. Like if you hear a loud noise, your heartbeat goes up, and you're going to look around like, what just happened? You try to find the cause. So you hear a loud noise that triggers in you an extra alertness to protect yourself if necessary. At least look around and be aware of your situation that you find yourself in. Well, I get a new job. I'm going to be a fire worker. Suddenly I have to run into a house where somebody stills in and I have to save somebody. Now what do? I am aware of the situation. Is the house falling apart? Is it safe to walk in? Is the smoke doing something to me? Like I have lots of impulses coming at me. I have to make a decision. I'm trained to work with that, and I run in to save somebody. Now, for instance, like this. So you see, it's like you learn to adapt to situations. Other example, I never played the piano. Now suddenly there's a piano and I want to learn it really well. I want to become like a concert pianist. I'm going for it, like 7-8 hours a day. And after a couple of weeks, I start to play a little bit. And after a couple of months, I start to play really well. And after a year, I make some real progress and I have my first concert. Now I can play very difficult things, like very difficult passages on the piano. So you see that I've learned something, like my mechanicalness of myself can follow up on my goal of becoming a concert pianist. In other words, the neuroplasticity, as it is being said, is used to pave new ways within your neurological system to make this happen. So that means suddenly I can do the things that I couldn't do before with playing rhythmic, letting my left hand do something else than the right hand, not synchronistically, but like this, so you learn, you adapt, you discover new things within your possibilities. And coming back to our mind training, you become aware of what you are thinking. You actually look at what you're thinking. It's like, oh, lesson 1, these thoughts do not mean anything. So I'm actually internally, psychologically, not responding to the thought. I'm keeping that quiet, like, oh yeah, wait, that's a meaningless thought. I don't have to do anything with it. I let it go. I release that. Instead of following it, paying attention, following it, and doing something in response to it. I have a thought. I'm going to call someone. No, I'm not going to call someone. I get the thought. I could call someone. I let the idea go for now, to stay in my quiet, to stay relaxed. So my response to impulses from within are being different. The responses of me are being translated in a whole new way. I learned to do that. Now you see that Jesus was probably a neurosurgeon too. He knew exactly how that worked and how he could transfer this to you. So it's like, first you do the exercise 1 minute per day. Oh, 3 times a day, maximum 1 minute. Don't overdo it. Take it easy, because you're going to adapt to this. And before you know it, you do this like 2 times a day, 10 minutes, or 5 times a day, 5 minutes, or who knows what. But you're like slowly but certainly you're trained. Like you learn to adapt to a whole new situation. Now, day 40 passes. Lesson 40 I do. Lesson 50. Finally I get to lesson 50. It sounds such a great lesson. I'm sustained by the love of God. Now this is new information. Suddenly I'm so touched by what I read. And I feel my connectedness. And by just reading one line, I immediately am touched by it. So, in other words, something has changed within me, because I now can take time to read one line, and for no reason I'm touched by it. I feel my connectedness, like the whole human response system for a moment is completely gone. It's out of the door. I shift into invisibility. I feel this incredible gratitude, which we really call like a holy instant, is happening to me. Oh God, thank you so much for letting this, for this what I experience now. Thank you so much for this connectedness that I'm experiencing. So did I use my brain for that? No. Did I train my mind to be open and receptive? Yeah. Did I learn in this just 40 or 50 days to, in fact, bring my whole nervous system to rest? At least in the moments that I pick up the book, like my mind has a recognition with this book now, because it gives me peace all the time when I pick it up and I start doing the exercise. I calm down. My heartbeat goes down. I relax deeper and deeper. Oh my God, it's so great. I take time. First I wanted to do 5 minutes, but I'm going to do 10 minutes. It's nurturing me. It feels very good to do that. Now here we are. It's like this is your adaptive possibility. This is your neuroplasticity that is rewiring your whole nervous system. If you believe yourself to be a body, you would be able to measure that. Yeah, like this is what science discovers, really. It's like they're putting Tibetan monks on the table and putting sensors on them everywhere in order to see if it really works to meditate. Yes, of course it works to meditate, but not just to calm down your nervous system. Oh no, it goes way further than that. That would be unmeasurable. How far this can go is unmeasurable. This is where your experiment stops. This is actually where the holy instant begins. So this is new to science in a certain sense, because now suddenly it might be that it's not measurable at all. I'm entering into a state of temporal invisibility. Literally there's nothing to measure. There seems to be nothing occurring while I'm in a deep experience of gratitude. I'm so grateful for the connectedness that I'm experiencing that tears are like going over my cheeks, and I say, God, thank you so much. And I've left the university research table, the medical science. Did miss it, that I was in a holy instant, but I was in one. So I don't care if that's what's occurring. It's fine. So this is what I mean to say. You doing A Course in Miracles, for instance, because it's so measurable and it's so systematic in its lessons. First 1 minute, 3 times a day, maximum 1 minute, slowly going up more and more, and you adapt to a whole new system, to a whole new rhythm, to a whole new response system. Within 50 days you have a completely different, you can easily say, like within 50 days your body is in a state of resurrection, is open to change, is open to to perceive things differently. Like, look at that. You see a world, you see all exactly the same things, but your heartbeat doesn't go up. No, you stay just right there. Like, it's not doing anything. It's not changing anything. There's no stress-related response. Just quiet. I recognize everything is happening within me. It's not coming from anywhere else. It's happening within me. It's not going anywhere. Now I enter deeply into that stillness. And deeper. My stress hormone is not even measurable. My cortisol is like unmeasurable. It's absolutely at a low frequency. My heartbeat is so low that you could say, like, is that even healthy that it's so low? I remember for myself having a heartbeat of 36 beats a minute, like while I'm just in a conversation. So these things are happening. Your body's changing. Your hormonal setup is completely changing. You're not responding to everything in terms of stress levels, or you're not overthinking because you see, like, my thoughts do not mean anything. Why would I even consider overthinking? Why would I be preoccupied with past ideas if everything is already over and I'm home in heaven? So this is my introduction into neuroplasticity, which is quite awesome to see how well this works. So I want to add one thing to it. So now when your nervous system is this calm, you could say, when your nervous system is this calm, you've experienced sudden shifts from the bodily level into the spiritual level. You have experienced that a couple of times. Then you also see that there's a place within you where if your nervous system is quiet and still, that you literally are entering into a whole new light frequency. Like, suddenly your mind opens up, your mind becomes whole for a moment. Like, that comes into your awareness. Suddenly you are experiencing total connectedness and oneness. Like, that can only happen if your stress levels are low, if your cortisol levels are low. Not that you have to regulate your cortisol levels, but more like if you meditate, if you take time to be still, if you start to listen and take this with you wherever you go, practicing the lessons on a daily basis, like, nothing I see means anything. These thoughts do not mean anything. There's nothing outside myself. Like, I don't need in my defenselessness is my safety, and on and on and on. If I keep practicing that, I'm become so sensitive to communication because my mind is not occupied with anything else. It doesn't need to survive. It is in fact in a state beyond the world, because the world is only something, if I give it energy, if I respond to it, suddenly it is there. But if I stop responding to it as I'm used to as a human being, then in fact the world disappears. And I come into a whole different experience of myself. Beyond my nervous system, beyond any bodily idea. And that, you could say, brings the body back into its natural state, which is perfect. Like, it's a perfect state. It is healing by itself, because you don't disturb it with your responses to a world that doesn't exist. I'm saying this pretty compact and quickly, but I like it this way. And so this you can also feel and practice. So I set up a guided meditation, and I love to share that with you, where you can actually see specifically, oh yeah, that's an aspect of that. Oh yeah, this is how that works. I see only the past. It's going to be one of those expressions. My thoughts do not mean anything. And you could go on forever, because in fact every lesson of A Course in Miracles really helps you to calm down your whole system, whether you call it nervous system or just So let's take a moment to do that. Are you ready for that? Guided meditation for increasing neuroplasticity and a shift in perception. This meditation is inspired by the principles of A Course in Miracles, which centers on the idea that the world we see is a projection of our mind, and by changing our mind we can change our perception of reality. This shift in perception is the core miracle and is the ultimate exercise in neuroplasticity, rewiring the mind from fear to love. So this goes like in 5 steps. Here we go. Entering the holy instant, deep stillness. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or laying down. Gently close your eyes. Take 3 deep, slow breaths through your nose. With each exhale, allow your body to relax further, releasing any tension you may be holding. Inhale peace. Exhale fear. Now bring your attention to the stillness at the center of your mind. Imagine your mind is a vast sky. The thoughts that race across it, the worries, the judgments, the plans, are just clouds. They are not the sky itself. Let go of the need to follow any thought. Just let the clouds drift by. You are sinking past the surface thoughts, past the ego's constant chatter, toward a deeper, quiet center. Recognizing the illusion. In this quiet space, let us welcome the Course in Miracles lesson. I have no neutral thoughts. I have no neutral thoughts. So the thoughts you are thinking are either fear or love-based. You are always creating with your thoughts. Like whether you do that on the basis of fear or whether you do that on the basis of love, it still has a result. Now here we enter into this, another lesson. I see only the past. Silently repeat the phrase, I see only the past. As you breathe, realize that your immediate reactions to people, situations, and even yourself are based on old programming, past fears, past hurts, past definitions. This is the neuroplasticity we are here to change. The old wiring is fear. The new wiring is love. See the old wiring, the deeply grooved pathways of guilt, resentment, and separation. Recognize them as the ego's dream. They have no power unless you give it to them. I see only the past. The choice for correction. Now, we invite the holy instant, the moment in which we choose to perceive differently. This is the practice of neuroplasticity in action. Repeat this powerful shift in perception, visualizing the old dark pathways of fear being gently, instantly dissolved and replaced with new bright pathways of light. I am determined to see things differently. I am determined to see things differently. Breathe that determination deep into the core of your being. I am determined to see things differently. This is your willingness to change your mind. This willingness is the only effort required. You are choosing to lay down the old ways of judgment and pick up the new way of forgiveness. I'm determined to see things differently. The miracle of forgiveness. Bring a situation or a person to mind that currently causes you stress, worry, or resentment. See the illusion you have made about this situation. Instead of focusing on what you think they did, or what you think you should do, offer a simple request for a correction in your perception. Silently say to the person or situation, I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this. Sense the profound lightness of letting go of your judgment. Your judgment was the heavy old wiring. The correction is the light new pathway. You are practicing a miracle, a shift in perception from fear to love. You are actively laying down new neural pathways in your mind that confirm nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Returning to the truth. Rest in the knowing that you have the power to choose the content of your mind. You are not a victim of the world you see. You are the miracle worker who chooses how to see it. Take one last deep, slow breath, anchoring this new pathway of peace and forgiveness into your consciousness. When you are ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly open your eyes, bringing this corrected vision of love and neuroplastic willingness back into your day. Thank you for joining. All right. So, how is that? How is that for you? I love it. I think it's great. It's wonderful to have a meditation of 10 minutes like this, a guided meditation. It's really lovely to relax deeply into it. So, where does this go then? Going through the exercises, and like you train yourself, you see that things are happening, things are changing, you become more quiet, you have probably more often a smile on your face instead of worrying and being in stress. And that's just the start. Now, like this goes further. It doesn't stop here. And of course that's something to discover on the way. So I'm going to keep it now like this. I'm bringing you through a couple of expressions. So in this introduction, we include the idea of neuroplasticity, which simplified would be the possibility to change the functioning of your neurological system to adapt to new circumstances or information. Example, if you start to breathe consciously restful, your whole physical system slows down. If you start to breathe slowly in situations that trigger unrest in you, that shows your possibility to adapt your neurological system. Meditation has an impact on how you feel, even in a human perspective, right? Meditation affects the neuroplasticity of your brain, you could say in human terms. We go in a little deeper. To mention one aspect, in a human life, there are not a lot of stimuli that are triggering all kinds of responses there are a lot of stimuli that are triggering all kinds of responses like stress. This has a direct effect on your physical system, visible, increased heartbeat, as well as invisible, chance of increased cortisol hormone levels in one's blood. In the mind training of the workbook of A Course in Miracles, when you start doing the daily lessons, there are given expressions that provide you totally different messages on a daily basis. Imagine the effect of telling yourself during the day, no matter what the circumstances are, 30 times for instance, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. You can imagine the effect it will have on your physical system. Heartbeat slows down, cortisol levels drop, you start to feel more at peace. We still go in a little deeper. An example, you have done your workbook lesson and meditate happily twice a day for longer periods. You have discovered the profound change it has caused in how you feel about yourself. Slowly but certainly you discover this beautiful quiet that is within you. The experiences you start to have are suddenly beyond your physical system. They don't seem to have a connection with that. You experience a deep gratitude, a deep sense of connection, an intense joy. The only part that is different is the absence of a stimulus. It happens by itself. It is not triggered. you have for a moment gone by, like you have moved beyond the body, beyond time. So this is one thing that I like to share. So because that was the aspect I was looking for. Like, as a human being, you respond to stimuli. Now here's the thing. That always came from outside. In your consciousness, like your deeper consciousness, beyond the superficial distractions, you could say, of the world, and of your place in the world, and all this da-di-da-di-da, is your consciousness in quiet. So it gets, you could say, it gets stimuli from within. But these are not stimuli just like to trigger a response, like in terms of you have to be watchful or something. No, not at all. You can say like the stimuli now you can get are, for instance, a revelation, God communicating with you, the Holy Spirit speaking to you, listening to the still small voice. Why couldn't you listen to that before? Why didn't you hear that before? Because you were in a whole different awareness of yourself, thinking that you needed to respond to all the outer, so-called outer stimuli. And that was, in training your mind, you discovered you didn't have to do that. So now with your experience of a holy instant, a sudden shift into invisibility where you have nothing to say about in the terms of you're not doing it, it's going to be given to you. There was not even a stimuli. There was nothing to make this happen. It was a miracle. Like it did not have a trigger. Now that is of course like the miraculous part of it. It's like, that's truly a miracle. You experience something very deep without a stimulus. That's 100% like 180 degrees upside down from even human entertainment. Human entertainment would have to shock. You would at least have some adrenaline. Like, why are people watching incredible horror movies or anything? Especially in this period of time, the Halloween, like it needs to be like a monster running after you. Why? Because then that triggers something that you can feel with your body. Your heartbeat goes up. You have like a blush on your cheeks, and all this. And here is the Course in Miracles student doing a Course in Miracles lessons, asking for a miracle. Suddenly there's a shift into invisibility. There's suddenly a holy instant where you experience your wholeness, your connectedness with your brother, without your brother sitting next to you, without a stimulus, like not exhausting you, not doing anything with you except nourishing you and bringing you into a whole different experience altogether. Now that's great. That's what I call a win-win situation. It's like, it's a wonderful, wonderful idea. How lovely is that? See how interesting this becomes, like looking at it through a lens of neuroplasticity or neuroscience. It's very interesting to look at it that way too, to include it in and say like, wow, that I changed sufficiently. First, I was so responsive to everything around me. I really thought my life depended on that. Now, after doing the exercises and entering into, for instance, the prayer lessons, suddenly I discover a whole new way of being. Here I am, I'm listening. I'm able to listen and have deep experiences of connectedness with no reason, like I have nothing to do with it. It's given to me. I don't have to struggle for it. I don't need to, no, it's just given to me. Before I ask, it is already given to me. So, that's so great. I love it. All right, so entering into the next phase of our endeavors. Thank you. thank you for this, because it's such great possibility for me to share this with you, and to find the words that are given in forms that are actually useful to use, like the meditation is useful. And at the same time, it gives you information about occurrences, and you can leave those behind, because hey, if you have a good experience, well, how would you care how it came about? We start with the next phase in our miracles healing, and that's the creative part.